All right, for those who just joined us, in figure 8, they asked the Kuti Tibangi extend by 5 minutes. So we are starting in the next 45 seconds. That will be at 8. Rather at 8:05, not at 8. Thank you.
I think others were trying, but I received one message from Should Be Greatness. They're saying they are trying, but their network is not stable, but they'll be joining.
Yeah, no, if you're in Malawi, every person should be able to understand. It's completely fine. Completely fine. That's why I've opted to recording. I'm recording because I know that others will not be able to get everything. But if we can record, those who are more interested, they can go back to the record. All right. The time is 8:05. Welcome to today's session, where we are discussing personal branding. So will not take much time. I hope we are all well. Thank you to those who submitted their write-ups to me. I had time to read through, and I'm trying to balance my expectations with your expectations so that we never got. Yeah, that's it. So we'll go straight into our business. Yeah, personal branding. Jack, can you please give me my first slide? Thank you. So what is personal branding? As per the definition, personal branding is the practice of creating a unique professional identity and positioning yourself as an expert in your field. So zimene ndimene tikukambirana unazoti ndinkhani yodzora kodi ineyo ndine ndani. You know, I shared with some people, it should be a few weeks ago, ndimakamba za pali there are 3 kinds of you. Pamene mulipo, there are 3 kinds of you. There is a you imene iwe mazidziwa, there is a you imene anthu amakuona, and then there is a you imene umafuna anthu atamakuona. Those are 3 different kinds of people. So everyone amene ali mu group muno amene tili pano limodzi, pali chimene iwo amadziwa zoti ine ndine uyuyu, and then pali chimene koma as much as ndili uyuyu koma ndimafuna anthu atamandiona ngati ndine uyu. So maybe the way we speak, the way we do things, timafuna tizoonera ngati wina wake. Then anthu amene amationa ajaso pali imene amationera. These 3 things, they are very different. You might think anthu amakuona undiwe chonchi pamene anthu amakuona the other way. So personal branding is a matter of trying to bring these 3 together. Kuti chimene iwe umadziona, chimene iwe uli chifanane ndi chimene anthu amaona mwa iweyo. That's a very rushed definition of personal branding. So what is the purpose of personal branding? Number 1 is to stand out in the competition. I think last session kwamene sinapanga attend tinabwera ndi number kuti mukamadza panga graduate, there's a chance mudzalimbiana ntchito imodzi ndi anthu 5,000. So how do you stand out in the competition? That's through personal branding. Number 2 is to enhance career growth. When you are considered to, if you brand yourself very well, it's very easy to grow in your career. I'll be giving examples as we go. In number 3 is to build trust and credibility. If you brand yourself very well, it's easy for people to trust you to do their work. So basically, that's the introduction. Let's go to the next one, Jack. So why personal branding matters? If you can udzipange brand kapena upereke a certain view of yourself. So the number 1 benefit is that it improves visibility and recognition in any field that you are. Maybe because most of us are students, but I think even in students, if someone comes in your class and says, I want someone who can write this for me in this class, I'm sure ngukupanga approach you pali munthu amene okhoza umuchula uroke wakuti kuti amadziwa kulemba. Or else I want someone to design something like this, pali munthu amene ungamuchula wakuti is a good designer. So that's visibility and recognition. That happens if muli in class. Kwa mukati muli mu field mwayamba ntchito, it means ndekuti anthu ena akamadziwa akamati okay, marketing industry ya ku Malawi, people can mention that if you talk of marketing ku Malawi wakuti ndi madolo, you know. If you talk of music industry ya ku Malawi, wakuti amadziwa, because they have a brand imene anthu amadziwa. So that's number 1, it improves visibility and recognition, so anthu akudziweni. Number 2, imakuthandiza upanga achieve my career goals. Why is this important? Because the very reason why you are creating a brand for yourself is because you have a goal. Okay, for instance, So through branding, many ozipangira present, many anthu akuonera, when you are visible and recognized, it means you achieve that goal that you set. And then number 3, it attracts opportunities for growth and leadership. Ngati uli, let's say you're a communications person and you are doing your communication work very well and people know you, it means even if agulanza kwa mene they are in communications, for instance, you'll be able to say, they will be able to say, I think we should choose this person because amonokora maziwa zinthuzi. The reason is because azibanga brand kudiyo zinthuzo amata and people follow what they are seeing. That's on the general benefit. And on the workplace, zimathandiza one, it increases trust with colleagues and when agreeana nawo ntchito amakhulupirira kuti kampatsa munthu ntchito iyi akhoza kuita because has proven over and over again kuti amatha. Number 2, zimakupanga position as a thought leader, as in, let's say ngati, okay, we are in media, my assumption is that ambiri mwaimfe timamvera radio kapena timawerenga ma newspaper, or maybe at least timatsata nkhani za current affairs pa social media. Usually ma radio, ma TV amabwera nzota tinayankhula ndi katswiri pa zandale kapena tinayankhula ndi katswiri pa zachakuti chakuti, whatever it is, akadzati katswiri, that person, it means they have branded themselves very well to the extent that anthu akafuna input to do with their field amabwera kwa iwo. That's what it means to be a thought leader. So as much as kumwana kuno kula anthu opitirira maybe 1000 amene anapanga graduate ndi bachelors ya political science, koma why is it nthawi zonse akafuna kufunsa maganizo ama radio amapita by then ndero amapita kwati na Dr. Mustafa Hussein, Professor Blessings Chinsinga? Like, why do people go to this anthu amene atchulawo? Because ndero akhala kulemba kwambiri either ma newspaper kapena elsewhere about their work, so people think these people know better. What I would like to emphasize on this one, sorry Jack, what I would like to emphasize on this one, yatholida ndiyoti pali anthu ena amene mwina mudzakhala nawo klasi imodzi, ineyo ndikumadzola adawa ndi genius, maybe ndikukhoza ndi distinction, koma after graduating mwezoti akanikopeza ntchito, people don't think they are good enough. As much as munthu uyu ali ndi distinction, as much munthu uyu mklasi mwana anali wanzeru, but because they haven't positioned themselves as a thought leader, mwina ani maganizo anzeru, munthu akayankhula pa radio paja kuti katswiri zandale wanena izi, iwo ndikumadziwa zoti ndikumutsutsa ndifuna wanena zinzopanda nzeru because of ABCDE, kapena apa katswiri wa zachuma mdziko muno, an economist has said this, and then iwe ndikudzota wayankhula economist zino zopanda nzeru. That's not how the economy goes. But because you are not a thought leader, whatever you speak, no one will pay attention to, because amene wayankhula uja wakhala kuyankhula kwambiri pa nkhaniyo kuti akangoyankhula anthu amamukhulupirira. So there are some people in our society amene akangoyankhula pa issue alisa amakhulupirira anena zoona because they've spoken on that issue very much, so they've become thought leaders. So that is why personal branding is important, because through personal branding, as we've said, zimathandizira visibility and recognition kuti anthu amakudziwa kuti umadziwa zinthuzo. Number 2, imakuthandiza upanga set kuti upanga achieve ma career goals amene unayika. Number 3, zimakupatsa mwayi oti ukule mu career yako komanso mu leadership within your circles. Number 4, imakupanga anthu azikukhulupirira kuti okay, tufuna timpatse ntchito auti wakuti ngampatse ndani pa office pano. You are all working and say, who can we trust to do this? They will say, trust this work with Charles because Charles is good at this. So it means you are trusted. And number 5, you become a thought leader as people look to you for advice. Jack, we can move. So why is personal branding critical today? Why is it like first session here to Gambaza personal branding? So the first thing is the digital factor. Tikukhala mu generation imene panova moyo wa anthu ena, almost moyo ya anthu ambiri ife ikupanga rely on internet. The internet plays a very big role in our lives, you know. If I'm to ask, almost maybe 80 or 90% of you mugango dzuka, assuming whether you are a Muslim or you're a Christian or whatever religion you are into, enough even before we pray, the first thing we do is to check our WhatsApp, our Facebook. Enough so many even tikadzuka matue emutulata. Instead of understanding what it's a natural process, but you end up going on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter, and for the next 4 hours. Ndeuti mukamati musamba mu video school ndeuti tulola kudzadzani, or because you woke up to be on social media. So that's why we're saying personal branding in the digital fact and yofunika kwambiri. Number one is because social media and digital platforms amplify your voice. Back then anthu ndira madali radio kuti adziwike kuti amadziwa zinthu, but right now just with having a Facebook account, we've seen it. If you, depending on what platform are you, ena mwaife panopa we are more related ndi anthu oti sitinaoneko sitimadziwa than ndi anthu amene timadziwa, just because tsuluyana nangu amba pa Facebook kapena pa Twitter kapena pa Instagram or pa TikTok, anango ambo kamba nkhani ina yake ndikuzo nkhani ija tambo panga nayo liti kwambiri, ndipo tambo mapanga follow post yawo iliyonse limakapanga comment, enafe mpaka ndife ma top fan ma page kapena ma groups. Why? Because social media imapanga amplify chimene munthu we uli. So because of this, if you are going to give a very careful picture ya chimene uli pa social media, it will help you grow. So that's the digital factor, number one. Number two is that your digital footprint becomes part of your brand. Anthu akafuna adziwe kuti ndiwe ndani, especially me, I'm not sure, but I know it's a common practice. Basically, if you send me a friend request on Facebook, what I will do is I will check how many mutual friends do we have. I will check maybe umakhala kuti siku yako napanga kuti pa Facebook umaimba zotani. So you and me can have so many mutual friends. We can have 200 mutual friends. That means we are pretty much close. Koma ndikangona kuma status yako amene unalimbako amene unapanga share kuti they don't align with some of the things I believe, I will not accept your friend request, because I will know kuti I'm inviting trouble into my world. I know the things I love, and I don't want someone amene is contrary to that to come into my world, because every day is to sana, you know. So that's what I'm saying, kuti your digital profile, your social media profile is the digital footprint, and hamakudziwa through that. People define you through that. Kodi Angela Chunga ndi ndani? If people want to understand who is Angela Chunga, they just have to go through their profile, be like, okay, amakonda kwambiri nyimbo, amakonda kwambiri ma movies, amakonda things like those. People are going to do that to know who you are, or maybe even who you used to be. They will use that. So what are the opportunities that this presents? Number one is that you can build visibility as a content creator or expert. This is something which I understand most of you here are Gen Z, so you understand about content creation. I will not bother much about it. So it gives you a chance to create content, but the content should be at least aligned with the personal brand that you have. And number two, it attracts internships, collaborations, and job offers. Because of the presence of digital media, pali nthawi zambiri zimene ndakhala ndofuna, maybe let's say maybe a designer, or maybe I'm looking to buy something, I will just go on Facebook and just search for that. All of a sudden, so many people will come, and then I'll start searching. Amina madziwa ndi ndani, and then I think mutunda amina madziwa. So that's what the digital factor does. So next, we look at what is the role of digital media or social media and personal branding. So one thing we'd like to know is putting social media or Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, they are just tools. You know, many kalikala antamagwitsira ntchito ngoma. If ngati mupanga study communication, I would like to believe your lecture taught you this. If they didn't, I don't know, but yeah, they didn't do a good job. But previously, anthu akafuna kuitana na midzi kuti kuli zochitika, anthu amathu mayuza ngoma, ena mayuza makasu, like akaimba ngoma dzoroke ngati ukaimbidwa ngoma ndikuti atiyitana kuti tike kwa afumu. There is something that is very important. Ena aimba makasu, akamayimbaka makasu akuyenda ndikumalengeza. Those used to be the medieval ways of communicating, you know. So from there tinafika kunkhani kunthawi ya ma radio, where everyone was relying on radio as a communication tool, and then from radio we moved on kufika kuma TV, and then mafika web 1.0, and then now we are progressing to so many web versions that we have. So I'm saying this would be I will be mixing professional and at times career or personal advice, which is important. The next point I'm making is that social media is a tool. I put that point deliberately. It is just a tool. Social media should not define who you are. When you are using social media, understand it's just a tool. You can build credibility by social media and you can followers 1 million and someone hacks your account tomorrow and then all the followers are gone, you know. It should be 2 years ago. I'm not sure. It should be 2 years. Facebook was down for over 4 to 6 hours in Malawi. It was very awkward because everyone could not access Facebook. All of a sudden, and Hamanali celebrity, or celebrity also unata. Like just at once, like no longer celebrities, like they're like, okay, so my page is gone. And Hajama Ditadira Jazilva good, Nizi and so good, you know. So I'm just trying to make that point to say social media is a tool. So as we are using these tools, let's know that they should not change us. Our lives should not become very reliant on these tools. Let's just use them the way we can use any tool, but let's not let them define our lives. Okay, so how do we use these tools in personal branding? Number one, pali LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is basically for professional networking. By raising hands, how many of us are on LinkedIn here? Just raise your hand. I'll be able to see. Angela is on LinkedIn. Pempero is on LinkedIn. I know Jag is on LinkedIn. Okay. My queue shows only 2 people, 2 or 3 people are on LinkedIn. So I would like to urge all of us. This is not maybe I should say. I'm not begging you, but I'm commanding you within the next 7 to 10 days, when we'll be having our next session, please create a LinkedIn account. This is not negotiable. If you can do this, there's a chance that you can belong to this group because you're not interested in your personal growth. If I'm being a bit harsh, I'm sorry, but we have to move together. So if you want to be a professional, you ought to have a professional network, because on LinkedIn is where you see, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, the chance of you seeing how other people are writing are very low, because people there, they do a lot of strange things which don't add anything to your professional life. But if you go on LinkedIn, you will see how other professionals write. You'll see how other professionals speak. You'll see how other professionals present themselves. So I would like to encourage you to say, if you can manage, please have a LinkedIn account. That's for professional networking. Because LinkedIn is very good at that, to say, if you say you're in communications and you follow 2 people in communications, it will give you over 100 recommendations of people who are in communications to help you become a better professional. Number 2 is Twitter or X, which also I would say Facebook to a way, but this is for sharing industry insights. So you're able to follow, to say, okay, what are the insights that are happening in my industry and how can you share your thoughts? So that's what Twitter or X does. And then there is Instagram and TikTok. This is for creative expression. That's why you'll never find people dressed in suits and doing all that cool in TikTok, because it's just for creative expression. But then it's into the center where I am in Ireland. I know my MP Zambia, because I work in the parliament. My MP Zambia and my Instagram and TikTok accounts. Even the Prime Minister Wagu Island are in the TikTok or Instagram account. So we see that the world is evolving, because for you as a communicator, the most important thing is utenga wago uenea wabeze antu kumeneani. So that means if you are trying to create a personal brand for yourself and you think your audience is on TikTok, you ought to have a TikTok account. So then we go to the importance of online etiquette. Kabena uliko di khalidwe lapa online ndotani, khalidwe lapa digital ndotani. So what we are saying is that your posts reflect your personal brand. Mujanene ya moja, you know. Kuna zoti zimena wapanga posti wewe pa Facebook, pa Twitter, pa Instagram, pa TikTok. It reflects who you are. People will know you because of what you share with them. So that's why social media is a tool. So as you are using it, people will know you according to what you share with them. Even if you are a very kind person in your thoughts, but if you're on your social media, you are sharing things that are unkind, people will say people will not get into your head to try and know who you are. People will not come to your home to come and say, and asking your parents. No, they will look at what you share on social media and that will define you. And then the other thing, point, means the employers and collaborators check online profiles. These are my examples we go to grow. Masiku ano, when people apply for jobs, basically my companies, they will go to my profile so that they should know you better. So that's why it's very important that we should be careful with our digital media. Next slide, please. So these are just examples, yeah, and when many they've used social media to their benefit. How many of us know Bill Gates just by the raise of a hand? How many of us know Bill Gates? Empero knows Bill Gates. The other one is Charles. Okay. And Angela. Okay. How many of us, and Grace? Okay, so let's just say everyone knows Bill Gates. How many of us know Elon Musk? Okay, so many hands. Yeah, probably Elon Musk is more known than Bill Gates. Interesting. The point that I'm trying to make here is that 10 years ago, people in my generation, tikamati munthu olemera kwambiri pa dziko lapansi without kuganizira kawiri aliyense amanena zoti Bill Gates. Like everyone who was born and grew up in my generation, tikamati munthu olemera timati Bill Gates munthu olemera kwambiri. But over the past 2 to 3 years, it has reached a level many Forbes magazine imatulutsa the top 10 richest people in the world. Bill Gates is no longer there, like he's gone. And on number 1 there is Elon Musk, and Elon is so rich that's into, I think, on the number 2 wage agusiana. Elon Musk has about, is it 400? It might be 4 billion or 400 billion. I can't remember the figures. It should be 400 billion. Has 400 billion, and the number 2 has 205 billion. So meaning good number 1, the number 2 agusiana with over 200 billion. Elon has amassed so much wealth. The reason is because he has a personal brand, he's intelligent. Yes, we can take that away from him. He's very intelligent. He's a very good marketer, but also he knows how to sell himself. And people, some of them will be buying the product, but others are buying the product because it's Elon Musk's product. I'll give a local example on this one, something that I noticed a few weeks ago. Ngati Mataras in Malawi. Kunali my elections, Film Association of Malawi Farmer. So there were 2 people who were competing at that election. We had, what's her name, this one? Cash Madam, Dorothy, whatever, I can't remember her last name, Dorothy. And then we had Flora Sawyer. Flora Sawyer was my classmate in college. She's a very passionate filmmaker. Moyo wake wose kuyambira wang'ono has been making films and understands films more than anything in her life. I don't think, apart from Joyce Chavula, I don't think there is a Malawian woman who understands filmmaking more than Flora Sawyer. But somehow, Flora has products that are seen. Ma program agaliba Times and Hamadziwa and all that. Koma yeye ngati muntu is not out there selling herself. And then we have Cash Madam Dorothy Kingston, or Dorothy, whatever, the former husband from Uganda. I can't remember the name. We have Dorothy, who is everywhere, like literally everywhere. She's annoying to some level, in the level of publicity, When they went to vote for the chairperson for the president of Film Association of Malawi, Flora Sawyer, who has been in the industry for so many years, who has acted in Seasons of a Life, The Last Fishing Boat. Those are the movies where Flora Sawyer was, meaning that she's a magnate in the film industry. But somehow she lost the election to Dorothy Kingston. It was a simple matter. The power of digital media. Dorothy has created an image for herself, and people can easily trust her. President, as much as Muntu doesn't have the technical competence over Flora Sawyer. So that's an example of how do we use the digital media to create a profile for ourselves or to brand ourselves. Number 2, and there is an example here, Amanda Gorman. I don't know how many of us know Amanda Gorman. Okay, I'm seeing some hands. I'm not sure if they are from the previous question or they are from this question. So if we know how, Amanda Gorman is a very young lady. I mean, during the inauguration of of President Biden was invited to recite her poetry. So she's a Black young lady. She always used her platform to be talking about poetry, like reciting poetry. And because of her fame from content creation, the president of the US, she was invited to be one of the people to recite. So she's just a nobody, she's just someone with a brain who can write a poem. But because she used digital media, then is namutandizira ura bange rise mpaka nabange recite towards such a big ceremony. We can go on to the next one. I know I've left a point, I'll talk about it. So having talked about all these things, the next thing that we have to look at is now, how do you build strategies for personal branding? So to build strategies for personal branding, number one is develop your niche. Like choose a focus area. For you to understand this better, I will give my personal example. I did journalism. The days that I was doing journalism, Amazori journalism do yankwaba radio. That's what everyone believed. Ogadindu a journalist, ubanga journalism unkamande uze yankwaba radio. But after 2 years of my diploma studies and then going up on internship, I had an opportunity to intern to MPC, which is probably the biggest radio in Malawi in terms of resources and reach. After doing my internship to MPC for 3 months, I noticed that I'm not a radio person. I love talking the way I'm talking with you, but I never love talking on the radio. Number one. Number two, I noticed that radio. Like when I was in Sunday 4, I used to listen to Hassan Goba, Alice Banda, and James Gumba. These people never zonda with MPC. I went there be fancy like say on that motor. So that gave me wait a minute. Ngati magaya one number 1 very stand 4. Ndafika stand 8. Ndabanga form 1 paga form 4. Kina mpaga nanda zafika ku college. Awa kuenda bibasi. I think a profession ndio rantaka makala usawa. That's the thing that I saw. I was like, no, I'm not ready to become a radio person and become a poor person in my life. I'm not ready for that. So I started thinking, how can I become a better professional? I know, okay, just a point of clarification, most of them are not Magari model used to be back then. Now they are better off, I'm sure. I was like, okay, so what best? Radio, this thing is not impressive to me. And I always thought I don't have a very good voice for the radio. That's number one. Number two, I had a lecturer, Amina Mariputa, designing. And somehow, as much as designing was good, but I never loved designing. I found it to be too complicated for me. So I remember I had my friend. Now, I'm sure one of the days we'll have him in the sessions, he will present. He works with the Legal Aid Bureau, the public relations officer. John was very good at designing. He had a passion for designing. I didn't. So we reached an agreement. What I say, my assignments at designing, you'll be designing. But my assignment, content creation, I'll be the one doing it because I think quickly. So what I'm trying to say is, by choosing your focus area, is to know, okay, what is your strength? For me as Samuel, I know that my greatest strength is that I am a very strategic thinker. If you say you want to do this project, so you want a communication aspect of it, give me 3 days. I'll give you a clear plan on how can you do your communication to reach all the people. That means I'll rely on designing, I'll rely on I'll just give you the ideas, but I'll not do the job because I suck at designing, I suck at radio, but I'm good at thinking. So because of that, it made me okay, I think in a few remain excel on the public relations, because public relations has to do with kuyangana bungwe kabina organization ndikuona zimene ufuna tanga achieve then ndikubwera ndi strategy yoti ipangira achieve zimene zozo. That's what public relations is to me. So I was like, okay, because I'm someone who thinks quickly, I think I can manage to do a job that has to do with crafting strategies for organization. So kuyambira ndikupanga graduate diploma, I never worked in radio. I never worked for a newspaper. I never did any graphics in my life. Ngatindambo panga my graphics, I think Jack knows, is because of Canva. Yeah, I try to do Canva, but I even produce awkward things. It's Jack who perfects them at times, because I know that I'm not good. I'm not good at that. If you want the idea, come to me. believe me, I'll give you probably the most brilliant ideas, but I'll not do them. So I'm saying that you need to decide that whilst you are still in school, say what are you good at? Are you good at writing, that you want to be writing for papers? Are you good at content creation in that for TikTok, which is not a very big market in Malawi right now? Are you good for radio? Or maybe are you good for TV? To be very honest, when it comes to good for TV, I'll be honest with you here, is it's beyond kufuna. I'm a Christian. I believe Mungu analinga munthu alisala okongola mawu Mungu amatero, komabe zimasiyanabe valanthu ena amene they are universally beautiful. When you see them, you be like, wow, that's a beautiful lady, or else that's a handsome guy. So when it has to go with the TV, if your passion, you think it's TV, there is a chance you might need to take a minute or two to look in the mirror and say, is this face impressive for TV, or is this face be a generation of memes for people to laugh? Nothing personal against anyone, because I don't know anyone in this group, but I'm just giving you tips to say when you are choosing where to thrive, those factors will come into play. Because Antonzo presenter would remember to Gambia na office what to make many of launch strategic plan. The mafuna muntu adagakale MC BICC during the launch. So kunambo bwera maina, as I said, this is a very practical experience on France was an chirungamo. Kubwera maina ama MC, wakutindwa bwino, and then someone spoke like, wakutindwa bwino koma looks yake ya mwene, no, we can't have that someone kudakale MC or event yatu ya make. It was offensive, but it was true, sorry to say. That's what the world looks at. You get it? So I'm trying to give you these examples. He or she is naturally Zina. He or she is a very good MC. Koma magana sora minama onegera jayo. I don't think uri gazigati basi, but TV everywhere or MC watu looks yake still impressive. So that's the problem with the industry that you've chosen. How you look will determine where you thrive. And Rambi made man vera radio, atabwera pa TV, and they're like, oh, okay, so this was the person I made him hoping that would have a radio. No, thank you. We don't want her anymore, or we don't want him anymore. Because this field, when you choose radio, when you choose TV specific, especially, it will also go with the aesthetics. How do you look? You know, the same thing with PR. PR is relatively easier for women because they are attractive naturally than for men. So if a man makes it in public relations, it means they are really good. I should challenge you on that. If a man makes it to public relations, women will make it because they are very brilliant, but others will make it because they are the image. Because public relations is about image. You are the image of the organization. So they want someone, I mean, okay, PR, people should be like, oh yeah, we can listen to her, you know. So issues like those, they are not given the material, but they're just the realities of the industry. So Nimaforo was appointed to define your niche, like choose good name ndufuna nzaba ngejani. Ndufuna nzaba grenchiro mu communication. Kabina nzakale ntulankano grenchiro go radio kabina ku TV. Kabina ndufuna nzaba grenchiro go organization ngat PR. On this activities olendo wina because standing now on the maguru koma even tikapita miniko. Oh yeah, I think nice. Trinda mpa kubunda. Kubunda kale kunalibe science communication, but now they are doing a graduate communication. Kupole akupanga social and behavior change communication. My expectation is that kuchankungaranga kwanitse aine ambe so governance communication, meaning poyamba communication imaiphuziranga the Bachelor of Arts in Communication. Koma pano we are going into specified. I'm sure in the next 50 years dakhala ndi communication ya anthu amayana pangalo okaoka. Kwanthu ngati na jag tidzakhala ndi communication ya ma economists. How do you communicate economic ideas? So as time goes, ndeuti mafield amba kumachepa uruka mapanga study chintu, you are studying something more specific to do with that field. Number two, to build your brand is to develop expertise. So what do I mean by developing expertise? This means write articles, create videos, or share insights online. So I wrote my first article in 2012 probably. So ndinapita ku college ukapanga journalism in 2013 kumanambo lemba ma articles 2012. This means if I started in 2012 kulemba ma articles ngati panopa the 2025, sorry, I'm trying to calculate the years. They would have been writing for 13 years. So how do you develop expertise? The only way to develop expertise is by doing. So I would like to urge you to say, that's why I said one of the things here is that we'll try to be practical. Sadly, in a very sad way, when I asked you guys to give me your insights of our last session, only 3 people, if not 4 people, submitted something to me. It means we are failing at the very basic, you know. So we are saying, Kuti, for you to develop expertise, you need to do the thing. If you are studying communication, do what communicators do. Start writing. If you think you are good at videos, do videos or share your thoughts online. So you need to develop expertise. On this, I will give example to grow point about myself and my career. If you develop expertise, people will start knowing that you know how to do the thing and they can trust you. Number 3, consistency matters. You know, consistency matters. Okay, before I leave, you develop expertise. When you write the articles, then make sure that you share the articles. Share it with other people, either through Facebook. My organization, Yes Initiative, inayamba through articles that I used to share on Facebook, and then Antwabanga donating drama, and then through that we started an organization. Then Hamina Menapiligan drama and Amenamantandiza would be Tiziga Pilega Mafizi, you know. So because I was able to write and share online, people were able to trust me, they can give me their money to pay fees for students. So write and share with others. Others will criticize you, you grow through criticism. I think maybe I said this during the last session. Apply, I received 23 applications. Out of those 23, I think dinarenga ungati some 5 and 7. The reason was simple. To be honest, your applications were not the best. Palina Gameana Limba applications, but because I've been in this field for over 10 years, I know Jimeno Limba Njera and Dinimadzio Jimeno Limba Chat GPT. I know the difference. Like, no one can play around that with me. If this is Grace writing, or Grace was a GPT, Dinimadzio, so okay, our. Sagriza and the level of knowledge in the Chat GPT. So, not that I hate Chat GPT, you can use Chat GPT, but if you do, make sure that you refine that thing to reflect your ideas. So banali na mena limbe akili chose mena banga submit na ban Chat GPT for those automatically in Masia. Banali na bagua na mena limbe Chat GPT, but they managed to read through and make that application reflect them. So I was like, okay, these are the people that we want because they're able to use the technological tools to do a good work. So it was a balance of those. So what I'm saying is, you need to show that you know the work. Number 3 is consistency. Use the same tone, style, and professionalism across platforms. Now, it's just sad that others are not here. But this point is important. Kwambili, maybe more than all of these points, especially ndikubwera kwa generative AI, imene on the Chat GPT does inside. I want you guys to understand this. If I write an article ngati Samuel Malasabanda, ndikalemba article ndikupanga post, ndikadzalemba so ina next week, ndikadzalemba so ina wiki inayo, ndikalemba article 20, pamayenera pazifika level imene ndikampatsa pemphero article yopanda dzina, pemphero akaiwerenga adzora amene alemba article ndi Samuel Malasabanda. I hope that makes sense to you. So people should be able to say, okay, many language yagwitsidwira ntchito, style, flow, the tone, uyu ndi Samuel Malasabanda, you know, because every person, they are unique in the way they write and express their ideas. The way I speak this way. There is a certain flow of how my mind is organized that is unique to me. Guys, I want you to understand this, please. So pamendo naza consistency matters. Pamendo bidaza brand, or most I'm talking about writing. The danger that Chat GPT does to you is this. Chat GPT takes away your tone, your style, and your language. Meaning, Kuti, if I ask you guys to write something, no samini muli panombo is a Chat GPT, zikandi tone mods, zikandi style mods. Zikandi tone this style mods, it means palibene you see an itano who is good or who is improving. That's why universities will try to stop you guys from using these things. They will not succeed because first thing, they have to make you understand what is the danger of using these AIs. They are not bad, as I'm saying. Koma, if I'm to give you maybe one of the days, Jack remind me, I should share an article that I wrote maybe in 2012 or in 2013 in a chat GPT. Like, if you read, you're able to see, okay, I think I'm not in Fridging the Sam. There was a friend of mine who is not that much of a friend nowadays. I mean, anatingati koyanga ndikuipanga twist for their own purpose kuda think amafuna ga ndalama ga mapanga ma donation atapanga post article ija munthu wina akanaiwerenga ndikundiuza kuti Sam ndawerenga article that thing it sounds like unalemba ndiwe. I'm like how? It's like no ndimene umalembera iwe anandipatsa then namuzoroya ndinalemba article if organization yakuti iye wangoyotsa dzina la organization ndiuyapo organization imene akuipangira ndungosintha zolinga zimene ndimapangira fundraise iye ndiuyapo zake. That happened because I have a style of how I write, and I'm original to that style. If I use ChatGPT does not know my style, unless ngati the way I use ChatGPT, I mean, is paid. Mine is not a free version. So because it's a free version, ndinampanga customized to how I write. So I would tell my ChatGPT, okay, I would like you to refine this, but whilst you are refining, don't change my style, don't change my tone, make sure that it aligns with ABCD. Ndikampatsa my instruction 7, akandipatsa feedback. Ndimona so that okay, then I will even say if I'm feeling silly that I have all the time, I'm like, hey, you have changed out Jagudi. That's not how I write. And then Andy and Kodia, I've noted that's in Jagudi. And then I will say, why have you changed out Jagudi? So I'm trying to say, ChatGPT is a nice invention, but it takes away your creative power. It takes away your uniqueness. So I'm talking about consistency. That means in order to create consistency, make sure that you at least know, okay, this is me, and ineyo ndimayankhula chonchi kapena ine ndimalemba chonchi kapena ineyo pankhani ndimaganiza chonchi. Once you miss that, there is a high chance you cannot come out as authentic. So that's why I'm saying we use the same tone, style, and professionalism across platforms. What you write on Facebook, what you write on Twitter, what you write on Instagram, use the same tone. People should be able to know, okay, munthu yuyu ndiwa malemba zokudzana zakuti. For instance, if you ask people who follow me, unless otherwise, people know me within malemba za youth empowerment. It means the connection I lead. If I'm not writing about youth empowerment, I'm probably writing about my family. If I'm not writing about my family, then I'm writing about anything to do with Christianity. These are the only 3 things mugabira wa Facebook yanga. Mugabanga scroll kuyambira ga 20 jana mugabeza nkhani zitatu zokazi. I'm talking something about my family. I'm talking something about God or Christianity. I'm talking something about youth empowerment or education. So people should be able to know, okay, munthu yuyu zochitika zake ndizi. That's consistency. And then number 4, network online and offline. That means you would be able to build connections, both online and offline. People should be able to know you, okay. LinkedIn, look for people who are in your industry, and hamina madziwa zinthu ngamene ujezera pano poto, okay, and you know me, and then I'll introduce you to someone. Ndimamuza munthu ene kuti anthu amene ndimadziwa ine mmoyo mwanga professionally before 2 years ago, anthu amene ndimadziwa, they were almost 70% of them, they were given to me by one person. Someone was my mentor, and this mentor started introducing me to other people. And never saw that because of this person. So that is the importance of networking, because through networking, muntu modzi ama upanga introduce kwa muntu wina upanga introduce kwa muntu wina, and then your network grows. Jack, let's go to the next one. Okay, Jack, how many slides do I have to go? I'm feeling tired.
On slide number, I'm trying to check the slide. We're on slide number number 8. We have
Out of
6 more to go.
Okay, I know. I think that's something that I can do quick. Thank you. All right. So, what are the do's? Number one is that share your achievements, ideas, and projects. So that's it on digital media. Make sure that you share your achievements, share like something zimene kugamba okay, pali zimene wapanga, you are maybe in a class week, munandi group ya class yanu imene munapanga assignment inagi, you've come on top of the class and you took a photo to go over class. Find something, share that, in our class, in our group, we did this, tinapanga project we came on top of the class. Share that. Those will be your achievements. That's what we should be sharing, because it's making you more authentic. Jack, are you speaking?
No.
Okay, I'll mute you then.
Yes, can you please mute me? I think my laptop has frozen, so I'm trying to navigate. Like, I wanted to mute the mic here. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm saying those small things, that's those, because you're a student, you can be talking about in Chilo if Kanchiro Simunayambe. So there is a lady, Kwamini Moniba LinkedIn. Apart from Jack, I know Jack, you can also follow Jack. Jack is a very good example of that. But you can search for this girl, what's her name? Sorry, I'm going to my LinkedIn because I want to get her. I don't know why I can't find her. Jane Rashid Kanyangale. So if you search for that person, Jane Rashid Kanyangale, maybe some of you know her, maybe some of you don't. I'm sure she's still a student, or maybe Ngarwa Maliza Papa. She's a student at Chanko, but the amount of content that she puts on LinkedIn, yeah, I think she's still a student at Chanko. She hasn't graduated, but she knows, I think Amal is at July 2024, but she knows how to document zinthu zimene akupanga. Zinthu zoti some of you are doing in your class, maybe class yanu inaphunzira zina zake. She knows how to write those things in a way that she makes them seem big. To me, apart from Jack, whom I know personally, this one I don't know personally, but she's one of the best examples on how to share her achievements on LinkedIn, and she has over 500 connections, but she's just a student, meaning that by the time she'll be graduating, out of these 500 connections, I don't know how many of them would be ready to offer her a job, but she has shown herself to be good at what she does. And by the way, she's not even studying communication. Abanga studied public administration. But Jane understood the power of social media or digital media for her brand, for her personal branding. That's why I'm even using her as an example here. She's not here, she doesn't know me, but I know that she's good at this. So that's number one, that share your achievements, ideas, and projects. Number two, engage with thought leaders in your industry. So mukapita LinkedIn, mukaona anthu amene ndi ma-experts a field yanu ya communications, amene amakonda kupanga post zinthu. Anthu amene aja akapanga post zinthu, mukapanga comment, mukalemba za nzeru, zimapatsa chidwi kuti wait, Charles kapena Grace kapena Pempero or Flora walemba chinthu, ndi ndani amene wapanga comment za nzeru chonchi? Then they will go to your profile, akuonani, oh, okay, there's a student like this who is this intelligent. They might get interested in you. And then the other thing, stay updated with industry trends. Because you are in a field of communications, you ought to know what is happening in communications. I'll give you a very awkward example about how I stay in touch with things. I'm a very serious Christian who knows what I'm doing in my life, but I was discussing with a friend. There is this program. I know one of you will tell me its name. I'm Bangita Kelvin Ngumuya. What's that program? Anyone who knows it? I'm Banga Kelvin Ngumuya. I'm Banga stream by YouTube. What's the name of that program? Anyone? There are about 8 people here. All of you don't know it. I was asking because I thought Moidzi, also because you don't let me just search it on my YouTube because ndaiwala dzina lake. Okay, yeah, it's called Drink, Truth or Drink. Maybe we know it or we don't know it. Yeah, so Truth or Drink, it's not one of those base programs, but last week they were interviewing a young lady. Apparently she graduated with a degree in journalism. Amati Morao, the rapper, I think she was trending. I watched that the whole interview with Malisa. It's not something that aligns with my personal beliefs as a Christian. What she was saying is not something that I'm interested in, and I wouldn't even recommend for anything. I think she's just a young lady who's grown up lacking parental care and support, so she's trying to get all that support from Faba Facebook, Abinaba Twitter. Those are my personal opinions. But all I'm saying is, because I'm in communications, I need to know what's happening in my industrial communications. That's why I took 1 hour, 11 minutes watching this useless interview. Not because I want to hear what are Moral the rapper's views. No. But I want to know what industrial communications, who is trending. If Moral the rapper is trending in the industrial communications, why are they trending? I need to know those things because ukapita kuinterview amakufunsa, okay, how did wakuti use to do this? Iwe sindumudziwa amene ndosapemphera mwana wa satana afika ndikaone zopemphera zosapemphera. It has nothing to do with whether you're a Christian or not, or you're a Muslim or not. It has to do with your profession. You ought to know what's happening in your profession. So I remember someday, I don't know what it was about, but I told my wife about something and she was like, hey, I say, as many as I was like, oh yeah. If it has to do with the use of communication to reach out to people, I'll watch it because I want to understand what strategies are they using. Why is Moral the rapper who had about 600 likes all of a sudden has 16,000 likes? What is she doing? Who is she? What is her strategy? So you need to stay updated with industry trends. I was talking with Jack a few days ago to say, Jack, yes, communication, we are managing it well, but we are dying on Instagram because content Merubanga push, it's fit for Facebook and maybe Twitter, but it's not fit for Instagram because Instagram has a certain audience which needs its content in a certain way. So I need to know what's happening. How are people doing this? So apart from that, for me, that is read almost every day. And never subscribe to New York Times, The Economist, and other online newspapers because I want to read. I want to know, okay, what is happening with Trump in the US? What is happening with Elon Musk? What is happening in the UK with the new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer? What's happening in Ireland with the elections? What's happening in South Africa with ANC and EFF? Like, in 24 hours, I need to know all these things so that I should become an expert in my field. So stay updated with what's happening in your industry. Now, what are the don'ts? Avoid controversial or offensive posts. That's it. It comes as straight as that. Avoid controversial or offensive posts. I've worked in elections for the past 5 years. So I understand elections in Malawi. Probably I can challenge you because I worked as an assistant in the office of the chairperson of the MEC. There's a chance I understand elections and the politics around it more than 80% of Malawians. If you go through my post on Facebook or anywhere, you will never find me talk about elections, about why DBP, MCP, UTM is doing this. Because as a professional, I cannot be talking about that. So you should know, okay, I cannot speak about this because it's not in line. It doesn't reflect well on my job. My examples are really so go on Navanga my examples. So avoid controversial just avoid that at all costs because it doesn't help your personal brand. People associated with that brand, you are gone. They will never want to be, rather they are associated with that character or behavior. They will never want to trust you again. So avoid controversial or offensive posts. Don't offend people because you are building a brand. Number 2, don't overshare personal opinions unrelated to your brand. Menani mujoni malemba about youth empowerment and education. Ndi malemba about Christianity or God. Ndi malemba about my family. As much as malemba about Christianity or government, siningabine nkona zota inefuka nimabemphera mulungu anduzoti wakuti likamfoto yazidzatere. I'm oversharing my personal opinions. That is not related to my brand since many mabanga. So no, okay, it's easy. I have strong feelings about this election, but it's not up to you to tell people, because people don't know me ngati munthu amene mankhulaza chisankho pa Facebook. So all of a sudden kuti ndadziwa kenayika modzi sindipita pa Facebook kapanga zimenezo. It's inconsistent with my brand. Next slide, please. So how do you manage your digital reputation? For you to manage your digital reputation, ngati uli ndi Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, these are the things that you should do. Number one, think before you post. Musanapange post pa social media yanu kapena pa Facebook yanu kapena kulikonse, even waste you, even pa WhatsApp, you know. Pala anthu ena amene it happened in my family, pala anthu ena amene they muted me kuma WhatsApp awo amene ndi ana oti ena makhala nyumba mwanga ina ana akwathu. Basically they muted me so that I should not be seeing what they are posting. So I was like, you guys, some of you timakhala muno nyumba imodzi ndakuona muli mafona internet koma sinaone kuma status anu umayika kuti ma status and then timaseka limodzi tikucheza. I knew that they muted me. So basically to me, I'm like, if you are muting me, it means what you are posting is rubbish, because why would you be ashamed of yourself? Because that's personal branding. If I'm posting something, I should be super proud of whatever I'm posting because it reflects me. Then I'm not helping my brand. So I'm saying that number one is this aligned with my career goals? Across the platforms. Are they aligning this? Number two, could this be misinterpreted? Nimavera podcast, yeah, as I said, I listened to so many things. A lady called Candace Owens. So Candace Owens was working in the US with a certain news, and then analemba verse. It was a simple verse in under Christ is King. So Christ is King to those who understand the geopolitics of Gaza and Israel. Normally, and how much the word Christ is King to spite Jews, kabina ma Israelites. Kutia krenga tawa panga moku ma Jews. So you tell me kunachitika nkhondo yamba ya Gaza and Israel. Yeah, analemba Christ is King. Automatically anampo munena zodi you are pro Gaza chanchani it needed mpaka she lost her job. Why? No again main mavira podcast mina mankra ndi PS Morgan a week ago. Amanazo no. For me nangolemba vesi ambai. Koma vesi me analemba ija. It was up to misinterpretation. So if you know that this can be misinterpreted by people from different parts, don't write it, just keep it. China, audit your online presence. This is important for all of us here. It applies to us. So number one, regularly review old posts for professionalism. We all grow. I'll give you a personal example. Back then, there was a battle on Facebook between Ongezani Kenani and maybe some of you don't know him, some of you know him, I don't know. But yeah, Ongezani Kenani is a Malawian accountant who works with I think the United Nations in Switzerland, if not France. So analemba posti imene nali zandale zina zake. By then I think nali ndili ku secondary ntangomaliza secondary. And then amatsutsana ndi munthu ina wake amene sinimamudziwa. So atatsana ndi munthu uja, I went on that post ndipo ndinajama za munthu uja amene amanenedwa uja kuti ni munthu oyipa, ndi munthu achipanisa amakonda dziko lino. I wrote everything I could on that post. To me, that was intelligent. Nimayionetsa kuti ndi matter, you know. Then a friend of mine, a mentor, came to my inbox and said, Sam, I would want to ask you to go and delete your comment. And then I was like, why? It's like, because you don't know why. You don't know rukozo zamfuna nthawi nake kapena mukhozo dzakumana mwina nchandi munthu oti he's made it. You are trying to go to college. This guy panopa wamaliza masters yake. He's miles above you. You can't pick a battle with him. It's a very useless battle. Because this person who told me this was my mentor, I went and deleted that comment. Simana didn't get 2 years in Nabido College. When I was in college, in Nabido assignment. When I was given an assignment, I needed someone to help me because no one in my class understood the question. So when I asked a friend, this mentor, delete comment, Sam, you know, this question imene ndipatsayi even inenso sindoimvetsa, koma pali munthu mmodzi yekha amene angakuthandize kumvetsa question iyi, namuza ndi ndani, then andipatsa dzina wakuti. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I remember that person. Mujama pa comment yakuti. So because of that, I was like, you know what? I know what to do. Ndini nazoti ndamva kuma sindipita. Ndifusa munthu wina. I want you guys to understand this. Napita kwa munthu wachiwiri kamfusora say, ndifusulira ku school assignment imene I need to write. Koma fuso sindulimvetsa. Ndiye ndifuna ndithandize. Munthu wachiwiri uja anati Sam, ineso fusoli ndulimvetsa koma sinduliva bwinobwino. Koma amene angamvetsetse, it was a question to do with literature, English literature. Amene angamvetsetse fusoli ndikuthandiza ndi wakuti. Anachula so munthu yemwe uja amene anamuchula nzanga oyamba uja. I was like, damn, you guys are useless. You keep on mentioning the same person. Then I went to kwa munthu wachitatu. Namufotokozera the same thing. And in response, he told me the same. Sam, if you want to understand this question, go and talk to Nzati Nkolokosa. Nzati understands literature more than anyone you know. Then I was like, wow. Okay. Then I had to go to the first person, to my mentor, and say, can you link me up with Nzati? He was like, yeah, here's his number. I will tell him to go to office work. I wrote Nzati and said, hi, I'm Sam. I'm a student at Poly. I would like to I work with MBC. Come to my office and how we. Ndinapita ku office work at 4 p.m. in my wala. Inafika. Hi, how are you? Like, so you see, in Facebook, this person doesn't even care about me because he was already miles ahead of me. So tell me, what's the question? Namonita. The first thing he said was, is your lecture wanangu ajafurumira? I was like, yes. He's like, I know him. He was my student at Chanko. I know how he thinks. It's only wanangu who can form such a question. And then I was like, wow, okay. And then within 10 minutes, he broke down the whole question for me and said, Sam, so what your lecture is looking for A, B, C, D, E. Go and do that and then you'll pass. I wrote that assignment. I got a 75 out of 100. The next person in my class got a 52. That's reality. That's true. Why did that happen? Because someone had too much knowledge on that thing. Komandika nati munthu yumene namunyoza moja, my comment ina imabe ndikuwerenga ndikuidziwa ndikundiloweza. Ndikanadzapiro andithandiza kana ndithandiza. I had to use a personal example. I had so many examples about other people, but I thought I could use an example about me to tell you kuti point me regularly review what you write. Be careful of anthu amene mukuwanyoza pa Facebook, kapena pa Twitter, kapena ndani. You don't know who are there, you don't know where you need them. So I'm saying that regular review all posts, ngati mmalimba zinthu zake zakalekale, have the courage to go and delete. My blog had some posts ena akamene nadira ndakalekale. Even my Facebook, but it's not then ndikamabwera masiku ano Facebook mabwetsa ma reminders. Ikabwera reminder and I'm like, yeah, ninkakusaka sinmakupeza delete because you don't reflect me now. So that's it. And the other thing, update profiles to reflect your current goals. So as you move in your life, make sure that you are updating your profile so that it should be in line with what you want to achieve in your life. Next slide, please. Hi, Jack. Okay. I don't know if this is very visible. Come, I wanted, because in the practical example, then I wanted to give you these two examples, which also make sense about how we take care of our digital profiles. Example number one, in the story, imene, sorry, just give me a few seconds. It's a story title again, the how one stupid tweet blew up Justin Sako's life. So just it's a paid article in New York Times. Because I'm a subscriber, I can give a gift. So I will send it as a gift on the group. Claimed interest I will go for the host. Justin Sako was a young lady in her 30s who was working in the US with a PR company, with a PR firm. She had a very good job. She was successful. Company value. But then I was going that December, I go holiday. Kwa South Africa, nali nzungu. Oh, Jack has run out of us. Don't know what has happened.
Oh wait, let me get it back.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So anyway, as I'm telling this story, so Justin had a very good job, and then I'm a bit of South Africa holiday. So she was white because Bambwaga was was South African, mayakanali nzungu. So whilst she was going ali pa airport, akudikira kuti akwene ndege apite ku holiday South Africa, she went on Twitter. But Twitter anandi ma followers 170 okha. So that's a very small number if you know followership. She made her first tweet, and then her second tweet, and then her third tweet. And then she made her fourth tweet. I'll read what the tweet said. The fourth tweet said, "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." That's it. It was a simple tweet for her. She was just having fun with my followers less than 170. I mean, they didn't have any benefit, you know. And then, I'm going to Africa. I hope I will not get AIDS. I'm kidding, I'm white. Adabanga post that tweet, anakwera ndege, 11-hour flight from New York to South Africa. In the first hour of that tweet, it went viral and everyone called, like, my company also, many abanga represent company yake ngati PRFM, anamba kuitu no ngati company mungusungebe this lady Justin Sako ifeti kutulukani. By the time many Justin Sako amatsika ndege South Africa, she had lost her job, she was fired. And Twitter was talking about her. People were there waiting to take photos of her. She couldn't understand what was happening. It's when Amabanga realized her tweet has went viral and has costed her entire career. Up until now, I'm using her as a case study, using this story. The disaster of social media usage. Justin Sako is the best example because all it mattered was a tweet. She had 170 followers, but she made news the whole world. Number two, my screenshots never got attached. That's sad because I have to talk about this because the guy in question was my mentor in college. Paul Mnyanga. Paul was my mentor, a very good guy by any definitions, believe it. Paul is a good guy, a brilliant electrical engineer. Afana Nzeru, Afana Otara Ngini. Koma should be 2022. Anadzalemba post. You know, DB you say you're not looking bomb, as you can see from there. That's when you know that DB was a real deal. Paul is not in communications. Paul is an engineer. So he was just writing on his page on Facebook. Wamaliza school, then wagabanga interview Wescom, wabeza nchito, you know, a very good job as an engineer Wescom. Kenago, they go on his Facebook. They find Rura by Zizi, Zokudza Boma. Next to what the third part here, it's a later terminating his job. He was fired because of what he wrote on Facebook. And I remember Paul being my friend, he was depressed. He even deactivated his Facebook then. Because this is the biggest body for engineers in Malawi as ESCOM, and then Amujo Tanchiro because of a Facebook post. That was just a silly post with 32 or 33 likes. It never amounted to anything, but because he was just careless in what he wrote, he lost his job. So that's a practical example of what can happen if you're not careful with your social media. What you think, because Kudimonema likes it was a joke, but he made a joke at the expense of the government. And right now, if you want to get a job, people are always looking, who are you? What do you write about? What comments do you make Kumikozi? What comments do you make Kulikose? So take care of that. Next slide. So I think in the negative consequences in the Amenda about America and about my online comments too. And then it's a peer graduate landing a job because of what we write. So what I'm trying to say here, and also whatever we write online can make or break us as individuals. Last time, I think in the Manena session, I have about 7 minutes to go. In the Manena, in my life from 2013, I've never been jobless. That's a fact. I'm not bragging, but that's the truth, and I thank God for that in a humble way. Panchiro's Minda Visa Moimanga. So I want to give you, after saying my negative social media and what happens, I will talk about me as an example. All the jobs that I've had in my life in the past 7 to 10 years, I think you may not be able to interview because the interview is got on the mods. I might not be, I think I'm correct. The insurance mods you coming up and apply. In short, all the other 7 jobs that I had, I never applied for those jobs. It has been until college, because when I was doing my diploma, I was the first student in my class to write a newspaper article news, like Nation. My lecturers knew that I was someone who was hardworking. Because of that, and so that my interns were BC, my lecture picked me with somewhere. There was no chance for anyone to apply because I had branded myself as someone who knows what they do. And because of that, every job being there is a moyo up to now. Zima Krazodi organization, maybe muntu wajoga kapena afuna muntu, they like atufuna muntu wa communications amene ngapangiza uzaku. And someone will tell them that, can you please look up Samuel Malasabanda? They will look him up and they'll be like, they will call me 2-3 times and my phone call, hi Samuel Malasabanda, where are you? Andrew Salima, that was in time of money the school. If in Fabunga Rudagudi, to funa muntu oradza byanchilonga communications and advocacy officer. Ndetaona zimene malemba toona ngati you can write for our organization. How much is your current salary? Nekwauza ama ndibatsa mwakuti tirada kubatsa ndrama yakuti ungavomere ndikhoza kuvomera asa mukani kusalima bwera kulilongo. That's how I moved from Salima to Lilongo. I never applied for a job. I was called for a job and given an offer. From there, I moved from my first job to my second job. A CEO of a certain organization says, Sam, I was in Blantyre, now I'm in Lilongo. Ndine CEO wa bungu ya ukulagula kuti. So, tufuna muntu haminanga kari communications and marketing officer watu. Then madziwa zakuti. I was thinking, would you be interested to come? I was like, oh yeah, I can come. Oh, are you sure? Yes. That's it. I moved from my job to another job. Whilst I was at that job, Nidango from January to June. It's when the Electoral Commission 2020, the president chose a new Electoral Commission. And then the chair was told, you need Mutadza Bienchum office in one, Madzapanga communications is a good. And the chair of the Electoral Commission then wrote me, Sam, I'm the new make chair, as you know. I've been given a chance. Could I should find someone to work on ABCD? I think you are the best person. You'd be interested to come. I'm like, oh yeah, I can come. I came. The same thing, I'm here, I'm doing my school in Ireland right now. The government of Ireland wrote to my organization, Megura, Timafuna and Hawili, amene abangi compete for a scholarship. Kudaga bangi masters. Please, banga nominate and Hawili, wamun and wankazi, Kudaga bangi masters, Ireland on a fully funded program. My CEO nominated me and a friend with okay. Make has over 250 employees, but they said, I think, Sam, you are someone who deserves this opportunity. I never went begging for it. What am I trying to say? Personal branding, when you brand yourself well, when you show yourself competent, opportunities will be coming to you because people will know that you are good. You know, so I just want to tell you what personal branding is the most important thing that you can do because people are talking, that's what I would like you guys to become. That's if you wish. Next slide. So actionable steps for you guys from here. I hope I will see if I can share this presentation with you. Number one, from here now is Zori Mubange. Ndayamkura is about me and everything. But now what should we do from here? From here, number one, audit your social media profiles. Tapita ni muga malimba zotani. Zimene malimba zija. Magampani amene majama, jantamene manina, jamulare mwagu manao pa interview panel. What can they say about you? Mwagati mwamaliza interview, iwo ndikubwelera ku office kwa ndikupanga ni search, akabezo malimba chani. So go and audit your social media profiles. Number two, start sharing content that aligns with your career interests. Mufuna muzagwiye nchito yanje. Then use your social media profiles to be sharing about that. We have Jack in here. If you don't follow him either on Facebook or on LinkedIn, I don't share a lot of content, I should be honest with you, because I'm in school and because I have so many things. But Jack shares a lot of content. He's doing development economics. He shares so much about his work in development economics. So when you're sharing that, people are able to relate with you and the work that you do. Number three, so number one, audit your social media profiles from here. Number two, start sharing content that aligns with your career interests. Number three, follow industry leaders and engage with their posts. And how many amadziwa into the field yano. If you are in communications, agriculture, one person I know, some of you are taught by I'm sure some of you are taught by Dr. Nchaku, right? There should be, yeah, if you are Bunda. Yeah, apart from being a brilliant communicator, whether you like him or not, he's my uncle too. So yeah, I know that he's good at what he does. So yeah, people like people like him, people who understand their content. There are people like Kumalawi when it comes to agriculture and communication, these are people who are good in this field. And when it comes to development communication, Charles Kabena, these people are good in development communication. If you follow their content, you know what is it like to work in this industry in Malawi. So follow them and engage with their posts, And then number 4, take advantage of LinkedIn as a professional platform. This is important. Poyamba Facebook used to be professional. Unfortunately, Malawi anapita ku Johnny, then anapeza mpando yo cheaper. So now they are a crusade on Facebook. They write very strange things. I was sharing with Jack nasiya kulemba zinthu pa Facebook because kumene anthu akujona achokera sukudziwa abwera adzadzadzana kumapanga makomenti osagwirizana ndi zimene okulemba. So Facebook is becoming more of a market, it's becoming more of a street. Wangosanduka kuchilimba. If anyone lives in Chilimba, no offense, I'm just giving that as an example. Yeah, kwasanduka kuchilimba venako mtandile kwa digital media, everyone is there. But LinkedIn is a bit professional. People are writing things that is inspiring. Next slide, probably the last. So, conclusion, key takeaway, in the digital age, your personal brand is shaped by every post, comment, and interaction online. Chili yose chimene mmalemba ku TikTok, ku Instagram, ku Twitter, ku Facebook, ife tikakupanganisiye chinthu chimene tikapeze mukadzafuna ntchito tidzakukanani fika zimene zija. So what should we do? Start building your brand intentionally and professionally today. After talking to you guys for 1 hour 20 minutes, I'm tired. It will be a waste of my time. I will be personally angry, but I will feel sad for your careers because this information easily. With those many things that I've said, I will open the floor to questions. If you don't have, okay. There are questions and discussion. So let's discuss. Okay, what are your biggest challenges in personal branding? How can you use your current digital platforms effectively? Anyway, because in how we are, I will not need you to answer this, but I want you to ask if comments. We have about 5 minutes. We can do that. The floor is open. Thank you. Guys, ndayankhula for 1 hour 20 minutes. Suri muzingo nombera manja ndayankhula nanunso ndikumve nimuko yankhula. Undombera manja ako, thanks, but I want to hear you speak. So that means you have no question or comment. All right, I'll take that side into I believe that this session has been beneficial. The last thing that I would like to say, and mentorship is basically a one-on-one relationship. That is why my session nowadays can only kamodzi by 2 weeks, mwinapena kamodzi by 3 weeks. The intention is to say growing is intentional. I would like to finalize with that. Kukula kwanu as a professional, you have to make a choice. So tikamaliza chonchi ndi ntchito yanu kuti you should reach out to me where you think you need help. Tanena za LinkedIn, tanena za chani, there might be so many things that you want. If you not reach out to me kuti mundikuthandizeni kundifusa mafunso kapena ma comments kapena chilichonse, know that I will never reach out ku inbox ya munthu alesi pa group pano kumupempha kuti aiti mati mupange chakuti. You need to make a choice to grow on your own. So I'm making this plea to you, which might be my final kuti growth yanu professionally ndi choice imene mwene yamupange nokha. Ndiye tikamaliza pano ndipongo kumana chabe kuti ngokambirana. Ndikufunitsitsa kuti tikateremu start reaching out to me. If you have questions, how can I build this? How can I do this? Maybe I wrote this, I need assistance. I'm open to help you where I can. Koma zikhala zopanda phindu mukamangotira panga deviam session ngati ino ndikubwera ndikupanga attend kenako osawapanga follow up mukatikatimu sizikuthandizani, tidzamaliza dzapeze kuti simunapindule kalikonse. So it's hard for me to reach out to you because I don't know who is interested. I don't know who is not interested. That's my problem. Because if I said, are there any questions or comments, and palibe even imodzi amene no ndilibe question koma I just wanted to say thank you for making time for this. I don't know. If it were me, that is good. If someone anatenga nthawi yake 1 hour 30 minutes kuyankhula nane, I think at least the least I could do was to say, I don't have questions, but thank you for making time to teach us this. That's what I would do if it were me, but people are different. So I'm saying because of that, I don't know whether this is beneficial to you or not. And because I don't know whether it's beneficial to you or not, I can come to your inbox to ask you, okay, are you working on your LinkedIn or are you working on this? It's your responsibility to come and tell me where you need help. If you will not, I'll also just say, okay. At the end of the day, I'm where I am somehow, and I would like you to reach where God wants you to be. But it's your responsibility. Kuti munthu wina ngati wakupatsani dzanja, ngati munthu uli mudzenje, ndi munthu wakupatsa dzanja kuti ugwire kuti utuluke. Ndi ntchito yawo kuti upereke dzanja lako kuti munthu uja akugwire. Ngati iwe wangokhumata manja chonchi, munthu atakupatsa dzanja, munthu ali pamwamba uja atopa achotsa dzanja lake azipita. So I would like to urge you kuti those who are interested in growing professionally, show an interest to grow. With those remarks, I'll say thank you. Good night. See you when we organize the next session. Bye.